Fossil Hay from CFA. What's up, guys? Ashby Gale here, back with another custom private fossil adventure, rocking into the summer with some incredible fossils from today's about 7-hour hunt here in the low country of South Carolina. So we've got Erica, Kaylee, and Jim here today that found some incredible fossils. We're going to go through everything that you see right down here and take a look at some of the incredible fossils. Now, before we get into it, a quick note is that most of these fossils are going to date 28 to 30 million years old. Now, any fossil that is younger than that, we're going to point out, we're going to indicate that whenever we get to that fossil. And we have some things that aren't fossil as well, so we'll kind of point those out too. Golf BG, thanks for stopping by. Right up here in this corner, we have the steinkerns. So these are the internal molds or the endocasts of things like clams. You can see that nice little football shape right there in side view, nice circle on the top, and snails. So there's a nice little gastropod or snail where the sediment filled in the organism dissolves away in the fossilization process, and we're left with the copy of the internal shape, so a steinkern. Now, some other steinkerns we can find are these little solitary coral fossils. Nice little star-shaped pattern there to them. And then our non-fossil find in this grouping is a pretty cool little top of a bottle. Now, you can see, especially against the white table, that it is lavender color. This was originally clear glass that once it's been exposed to the ultraviolet rays of the sun, can actually start to turn lavender in color. So probably turn of the 20th century bottle fragment there on that one. Moving down here, we got some marine mammal bones. This really heavy. I mean, I wish you could feel how dense this is. Squared off rib bone from something like a dugong or a very large manatee. Again, over 24 million year old fossil right there. Next up, we have our dolphin and whale fossils. So this one is a lumbar vertebra from a dolphin. Probably one of our 18-foot long killer dolphins, big serrated teeth. We might get a look at some of those a little later on. Right over here, more marine mammal bone bits from whales and dolphins, likely skull chunks and rib chunks. This one's cool. This is a section of the jawbone. You can actually see those divots right there, where a dolphin that had double-rooted serrated teeth would have been sitting. So 3 teeth right through there. This is a maxilla, or the upper jawbone chunk. And then also, pretty rare to find these. We don't get too many, but we have this nice articular surface right there. You can see that nice curved socket of the bone. And this is a scapula, or the shoulder blade, of one of our extinct dolphin lineages. So pretty great finds outside of the box. Now, working on in, we are in Erica's box here, and Erica got some really cool big teeth. So that one is from the ancestor of the megalodon shark. Of course, if you watch our channel, you know that is the Angustodon's 24 to 30 million year old predecessor with the extra teeth, or the cusplets off on the side of the crown. Got some other really nice, beautiful blades in here as well from that species, including this adorable little posterior tooth. Love to see those little cusplets there. All right, beneath the Angustodons, we have the mako shark teeth. Makos, big, long, beautiful, slender crowns, no serrations on their teeth. Beneath them are the snaggletooth shark teeth, have those big, broad, curved, serrated teeth in the upper jaw, and then these longer, more pointed teeth in the lower jaw, a lot like a fork. Over here are the reef sharks. There are 35 species of reef shark alive today. That big, colorful one right there in the center is going to be something like a blacktip, probably a bull or a dusky shark tooth. Above them, we have teeth from the extinct great white shark, Carcharodon histalis, so smooth edges to the teeth there. All right, we have our archaeologist Craig Arnold that joined in and gave us info about that solarized glass from the 1880 through the 1930s. Nice. So really, really cool find on that antique bottle top. Thank you, Craig. Right up here we have the extinct tiger sharks. Two main groups in this section. These are the long-toothed tigers and the extinct tiger that predates our current species. So two different ones represented in there. Right over here we have our hammerhead shark teeth. So they have these very distinct notches in the corners of the teeth and no serrations running along the edges. Beneath them, some sand tigers. You've got one in here that has some wicked cusplets off on the side. You can kind of see it right through there. Love to see those extra teeth used to grab onto smaller fish and prey. Right down here we have a little bit of a goosefish tooth. Might have heard of this guy called a monkfish as well. They look a lot like angler fish. I hear they're quite tasty. I've never had one, so I would not know. Right over here we have our extinct loggerhead sea turtle shell. We'll get a good look at some a little later on as well. Some really nice fish tail bones in here. We call these hypural bones. So the very last vertebra in the spine of a fish broadened out into these nice fan shapes at the base of much larger tail bones. Little thin glassy bones in here too. These are the fin rays from swordfish, tuna, and marlin. In this compartment we have stingray teeth, and believe it or not, all the ones that you got are from the cow nose rays. So just one of our four groups represented there. Right over here, some incredible shark vertebrae. Beautiful, beautiful centrum right there. This is calcified cartilage from the shark. The two voids on the top and the bottom of it, there and there, and then there and there, tell us it's a carchariniform, so tiger, reef, or snaggletooth shark. Down here are your fossilized barnacles, so straight out of the Ashley Limestone Formation. We've also got something that normally would get donated to science, but is not in good enough condition today. This one's a tympanic bulla, or an ear bone from a dolphin. This is kind of the acoustic center of the ear, housed within the skull of the dolphins, and they're usually very diagnostic to help us identify the genus and the family level of dolphin fossils that we're finding. This one, water-worn enough that we can allow to go off to a private collection. Right here are the infilled burrows from ghost shrimp and other marine invertebrates. They dig little tunnels into the ground of the seafloor, and after they leave, those tunnels infill with sediment, and we're left with this copy of the shape of the tunnel. Right up here, some of my favorites, as anyone has seen my ring knows. These are coprolites. Yes, fossilized poop from the intestines of dead sharks that got covered up in the fossil record. That's the only way we get our marine animal coprolites, especially at the bigger vertebrates, is that needs to be housed within the animal. This final compartment will have kind of these three things up here. We have a very nice crocodile tooth right here. Unfortunately, the enamel from the tooth has popped off the outer margin, so we're left with the shape of it, but still a rare find. Speaking of rare, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eagle ray teeth still fused together in a tooth battery. So this came from the eagle ray's skeleton when it was covered up with sediment. And then your youngest fossils right here from the Ice Age, 2 bits of Ice Age horse tooth enamel, so about 11,000 to 2.5 million years old on those. So that is Erica's. Now we're going to move on to Kaylee's, right here in the middle. Whole other group of incredible fossils. Again, we're out on a 7-hour custom private adventure today, and this is the perk of getting that trip, getting a YouTube video uploaded of all of your finds, and we of course encourage our clients to video us doing this as well so that they can have that information taken back with them. So, Kaylee got some angustodons right down in here too. Again, that 24 to 30 million year old ancestor of the megalodon shark. Some beautiful teeth here from that shark. Charleston and the low country of South Carolina is one of the premier places to find teeth from this member of the megalodon lineage. globally, about 5 to 8 places in the world where you can readily collect teeth from the Angustodon shark. All right, right down here, star of the show, got a big, beautiful, great white shark tooth. We can see serrations on the corner of the tooth there, so we can tell this is the modern great white that is 11,000 to 5 million years old. So this one, big, broad, flat tooth from the upper jaw. Right down here, we have the snaggletooth shark teeth. So again, the curved, serrated teeth from the upper jaw, and some long, pointy ones, like this little guy from the lower jaw. Next to them are those reef sharks. Again, there's 35 species today in this group. Mostly our blacktip, whitetip, and sandbar sharks are going to be represented by what we find here in the low country. Above them, we have a tooth from the extinct great white shark. Again, no serrations on the edge of that ancestor, the great white. Previously thought to be a mako shark, but now we know, nah, there's a transitional species between the two, showing that this is an extinct great white. Up here, again, the two different genera of extinct tiger sharks, the long-toothed tiger, Physogaleus contortus, and then the ancestor of our modern tiger, Galliacerdo aduncus. And real quick, if you're finding all the fossil facts fun and interesting and helpful, we would appreciate a like on the video. Right down in here are these sand tiger shark teeth, big, long, skinny crowns used to really grab and cage in small groups of fish. Got some mako shark teeth in here that have a similar tooth shape because they are a fish-eating shark as well. Right down here, a couple stars of the show. We've got two hammerhead shark teeth, again, smooth outer edge and a right angle notch to identify those from the reef sharks. And then this one, really cool. We have parallel root lobes right there. We have a pretty straight crown, indicating this is likely from the bottom jaw. That is a Paratodus tooth. This one from the Oligocene 30 million years back is still waiting on its publication to name it as a brand new species. So you got that unnamed false mako shark. And that's in gorgeous condition. We love finding those teeth. All right, moving into some of your other types of fossils, we have the sea turtle shell in here. Bit of a turtle Tetris to get them in, but we have the Carolina Kaylee's extinct loggerhead sea turtle shell with these nice spongy bone right there on the inside of the shell, rippled outer surface of the carapace where the scutes or the scales gave the turtle's shell its pattern. About a 2.5 to 3 foot long species of loggerhead right there. This section has all of your fish fossils. The big thing taking up most of the room in there is a swordfish vertebra. Now it's cool, it's been infilled with that 30 million year old limestone. So really, really cool one to go home with. Clean it lightly, leave some of that rock in there so we can tell it's 28 to 30 million years old. All right, above them, you have your stingray teeth. You've got a few different types. So you have the eagle rays that have the offset root compared to the crown, which is that smooth side. You have the cow nose rays, which are very flat, skinny, and that root is hidden underneath the chewing surface. You also have, ooh, this one's better, a devil ray tooth right here. Very thin chewing surface there, little comb-like root. All of these were shed while the ray was alive. And then you've also got the stinger, or the tail spine of a stingray. So one central groove running down the middle of that bone tells us that, yeah, this is a stingray tail spine and not a swordfish bone. Right over here, you've got some incredible shark vertebrae. So nice big carchariniform tiger reef or snaggletooth shark vertebra right there. And then some other smaller reef snaggle and tigers in there as well. Right here in this section are your marine mammal bones from whales and dolphins. Getting back to the steinkerns, again, those internal molds of things like scallops and clams where the shell filled in with sediment, leaving us the copy of that organism. Right in here, this species is misidentified a lot even by some tour guides. This is a lemon shark tooth, so capital T shape there. That crown curves up, so we can tell it came from the lower jaw of a lemon shark. Above him, we have a couple of fish teeth. Big, long, skinny tooth from a goosefish. Again, that was that one called a monkfish. The little triangular one over there is a barracuda tooth, and it has this oblique wear facet, so a diagonal break in the tooth running across it, where that barracuda bit into something a little too hard and broke that tooth before it fell out of the jaw. Up here on some of your more unusual finds, got a big chunk of a manatee rib bone. So that nice oval cross section telling us that it is a manatee. Nice, dense, really heavy bone. If you've ever found one of these, you can attest to the fact of how heavy that is. Right here, one of your coolest finds is this incredible crocodile tooth. That one has the root attached. There's no wear on the crown of that tooth. Beautiful. Next to him, you have a fish skull. That one from a sea robin fish, something that a lot of people find on our southeastern beaches. And if you happen to have a copy of my family's field guide, you might recognize that bone from the miscellaneous section. Right up here, these two little pointy ones are the rostral denticles, or the spiky parts of sawfish. So that animal that looks like it has a hedge trimmer for a nose has these little pointy bits sticking out. And both of yours come from the genus Pristis, which is that large tooth sawfish. And the animal only loses these when it dies. So these are not shed like shark teeth. Right over here, something pretty rare, just like that scapula we found, is a phalanx, or a finger bone, from a dolphin. Possibly one of those killer dolphins, but we have an intact articular surface here, and an intact articular surface right here as well. Lastly, your youngest fossils in this corner are going to be those Ice Age horse teeth. Again, just like Erica got, little bits of the tooth enamel from them, and the dentine on the inside that really can show that kind of tiger eye effect. Hey Mandy, thanks for stopping by. Hope you're enjoying all of the fun fossil facts and knowledge. You're just in time. We're moving now into Jim's finds right over here. Again, for those just joining, this was from a 7-hour day out here with Charleston Fossil Adventures. Lots of incredible fossils that we found, and we're getting them all identified. So, gems, starting right here in this section, are the Angustodons. Again, that ancestor to the Megalodon shark. Got that nice, beautiful, symmetrical tooth right there. And then some of these even have the cusplet, or the extra tooth, preserved right on the corner, right up there by my index finger. It's a feeding strategy, or a feature of the tooth that helps with the feeding strategy to grab onto smaller animals that might escape between the gaps in your teeth. By the time this shark evolved into Megalodon, it's eating such large animals that it doesn't need extra teeth to catch any of its prey. Right down here, we have a gorgeous tooth from an extinct great white shark. This one is Carcharodon histalis, smooth-edged predecessor of our modern great white. And this particular tooth, because it curves up a little bit from the root and it's really pinched in and conical, we know it's from the lower jaw off to the side of the jaw. Right down here, some very nice snaggletooth shark teeth. Got some beautiful curved serrated upper teeth there, and a couple of those longer, more pointed lower teeth. Right over here are the reef sharks. Again, 35 species like our blacktip and whitetip shark in this arrangement. Above them are the mako sharks. Some of those have some really beautiful shiny enamel and coloration to them. We've split out your tiger shark teeth. So the left one right here is the extinct tiger, Galeocerdo aduncus, and then the long twisty tooth right over here is from Physogaleus contortus, the long-toothed tiger. One little tooth here from a barracuda. Almost looks like a little sunflower or pumpkin seed and sometimes they have a very shiny enameloid substance on the covering or the outer part of the tooth. Right down here are the swordfish bones. So from the fins, the tail fins specifically of tuna, marlin, and swordfish. Right up here are the steinkerns, or the internal molds of clams. And then this one, perhaps my favorite of the ones you found, beautiful little gastropod or snail steinkern. Moving on over here into your vertebrae. These are all from the sharks, and specifically the tiger, reef, and snaggletooth sharks, also known as the carchariniform sharks. So that larger classification of shark having the voids on the top and the bottom of the vertebra. Right here are the marine mammal bones from whales and dolphins. Got some skull chunks in here, as well as a couple of rib bones as well. We've also broken out your 3 ray teeth here. So the top big one is an eagle ray tooth. The middle one has that just beautiful detail. The root, you can see those lovely little root lobes right there. That one is a devil ray tooth. And then the flattest one right there is a cow nose ray. So I think collectively we missed out on the bat ray. And honestly, that is the hardest one of the 4 types to get. So I'm not surprised. The final find that Jim got that kind of closes us out here is this incredible section of a jawbone from a crocodile. So we're missing the section where the teeth actually would have sat. This is the proximal end of the bone, or the close end, where it attached, and then that jaw kind of hinged down from there, teeth going off in that direction. And you can kind of imagine there's the croc tooth, there's the jaw, that tooth poking up out of the jaw. Now, a lot of people will ask, how can you identify this as crocodile or reptilian bone and not marine mammal bone? That's a good question. So I often like to equate crocodile and other reptilian bone as appearing like the crust of a croissant. It has a very flaky, layered bone. It's very thin. And if the inside of this jaw hadn't been infilled with rock, then we would get to see that light, spongy bone that kind of fills in the section between the thin, flaky bone. So texture, a pattern to keep your eye out for when you are looking through your own collection of fossil bones. So again, this was a 7-hour, probably 8-hour day at this point of collecting out here with us. We had some incredible finds. Again, highlight of that Angustodons right there. Highlight of this great white right there. And again, the crocodile tooth, it needs its own little glory moment right there. That's incredible. So if you want to come find some incredible fossils just like these, have a paleontologist show you the tips and tricks and the ropes of collecting out on the beach, consider giving us a follow. Consider taking a look at the website and checking out our tours. We operate year-round, and today's clients get to go home with all of this. So thank you so much, guys, for checking in on our live stream. We will have some more as the summer progresses. And as always, collect responsibly, happy hunting, and we'll see you next time.